everyone, welcome to the CoinEngineer YouTube channel. Today we will explain a special technical analysis training for those who know nothing from scratch. This video will be very short and clear. It will be quite simple and straightforward. Don't worry, don't panic. Even if you have no prior knowledge, by the end of this video, you will have a good understanding of how to trade Bitcoin, where to go long, and where to go short. Let's move on to the video.
First of all, we conduct our transactions on the Binance exchange. If you do not have an account on the Binance exchange, I have a referral link below that offers a 20% discount. You can register from there. Now, as you can see here, there is a screen. There is a name called Original and Trading View. We can also use this trading view from here, or we can also use it from our own website. We will read the chart this way. It doesn't matter at all. I sometimes use it from here or from my own site. First, we type Trading Web into Google and go to the Trading website. As you can see here, we go to the first site. After going to the first site, you can open your account here. For this, I am leaving a link below. You can register directly from there. There is no need to purchase premium or similar accounts when creating an account here. Free accounts will be sufficient for you. Here, I type BTC in the search bar, and after typing BTC, many things come up. There is everything here, and there is crypto. I select crypto. After selecting the cryptocurrency, I pay particular attention to whether it is available on Coinbase or other high-volume exchanges. First of all, if you ask where to find high-volume exchanges, as you can see here, when we type CoinMarketCap into Google, our video already appears. There is a video by the CoinEngineer. Here, I immediately go to coinmarket.com. And after going to coinmarket.com, I select Bitcoin. After selecting Bitcoin, I immediately show which exchange has the highest volume in the market section. As you can see, there are high volumes on exchanges like Binance Exchange, Coinbase, and Bitfinex. When the volumes are high, it really helps us read the chart well. That's why after typing BTC, I choose Coinbase as the exchange. After selecting Coinbase, there is a fully featured chart available here. It has already provided you with a line chart. As you can see, after clicking on the graph, I have now reached the TradingView chart screen. Now a chart has appeared in front of me. Here, in the top left corner, there are minutes, hours, and days available. I choose the 4-hour option for this, because if we look at a chart in 4-hour intervals, it will appear clearer. Now, what I particularly want to mention here is that we can choose the color theme to be light or dark. I want to choose dark now, because it will be a bit easier on our eyes. Now we see the price in the bottom right corner. Currently, we are looking at the historical price of Bitcoin as of March 20th. In this lower section, as of March 20th at 3 p.m., the cutoff point you see here corresponds to $59,000 for Bitcoin. We can currently see that it is $59,000 from the price section on the right. And I can move it up and down, left and right by holding it. I can go back and forth with the innocent this way, or I can go even further back. If I click twice on the right side here, as you can see, the chart adjusts. When I click twice on the bottom, as you can see, the chart adjusts. Again, when I click twice on the right side, the chart adjusts like this. By doing this, I can zoom in with my mouse. Let's quickly start with our techniques related to reading charts. On the left side, there are toolbars available. There is a small drop-down button like this on the right side of the toolbar. When I click on it, I see various tools such as trend lines, horizontal lines, rays, and parallel channels. As you can see here, when I say to add favorites, it adds them to a toolbar here. As you can see, I am adding these especially for frequent use. This way, I can also adjust the order of usage, like this. As you can see, I added these from here. I added the bed line, a parallel channel, and the Fibonacci retracement from here. One of the things that will be used a lot, especially, and from here, I added a rectangle with a brush. There isn't much else you need to add from the rest. The most important thing here is that there is a magnet in the bottom left corner. If I click on the magnet, as you can see, when I start drawing, it automatically zooms in on the point. So I'm currently posting my beam example here. but it is being pulled up by the magnet. You can turn this on and off, and there is a show hide button here. You can pay attention to this as well. Now let's quickly move on to Bitcoin. I'm doing this on a daily chart. By the way, we can also add stars to these. If we consider looking at Bitcoin on a daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, and 15-minute basis, I have added it here. As you can see, we can compare it here. The indicators are available. We will use the indicators here. We will also add our special indicators here. We can set the alarm from the bottom right corner. For example, when it reaches the X price, we can quickly add it to the mobile application section to receive a notification on the phone. Now let me open this on a daily chart and talk about it. As you can see here, we see a few candles. Let's examine the candle right here. What does this candle tell us? When we analyze it, the opening of the candle, which is the filled color here, shows that it is 38,800. As you can see in the top left corner, section A shows 38,171, and here section Y shows the high price of 46,750, which is the peak. We see that it closed at 46,448. The peak is a spike, as you can see. The bottom is also a spike. Here, D shows the lowest price of 38,000. So these wicks indicate the lowest price, while the wick above shows the highest price. These completed candles show us the opening and closing. In other words, it opened at 38,800 and closed at 46,448. The highest price is 46,750. This way, we can read the candles. As you can see on the right side, we can also see the prices ourselves when we double click. It resets to its original state. As you can see in the bottom right corner, there is a watch list available. By clicking add symbol here, we can add other cryptocurrencies such as Litecoin and similar cryptocurrencies. For example, if we are tracking the SXP coin, we can add it here. We can also add from our other coins. Let's add the DAO here. As you can see, we can quickly click here to go as well. And these are already recorded. As you can see, our SXP analysis was accurate. We had set targets for this area back then. Now we can quickly move past the DAO. We can close here. Now let's go back to our BTC. Let's add BTC here as well. As you can see, I can move it up and down like this. Let me add the red list this way. I am showing the red list. I want you to watch it quickly and exactly. Now we have returned to our Bitcoin. Now, how do we quickly analyze Bitcoin? As you can see, there is a line here. I am drawing with this. I can mark the areas I want. Again, I can remove the drawings at 2 o'clock. Now, there are a few points I want to explain to you here. I will spend this time on the 4-hour chart. And the most important thing is our trends. How to find trends? First, we need to identify a few dip prices. I have found a few dips here. First dip and second dip. As you can see, there is a second dip here. I also find a few peaks. And I am adding rays to these lows and highs using my ray tool here. As you can see, the ray tool can be added on this left side. I am adding the first part of this ray and the second part. As you can see, I have added it here. There is a peak here again. As you can see, this is actually a trend, friends. In this way, Bitcoin is progressing within a trend. And this trend actually serves as a support point for us. So the lower part of this trend acts as support for us. The upper part works as resistance. We can see this more clearly on the hourly chart. As you can see, each candle here represents 1 hour. Here, each candle represents a 4-hour period. In the daily view, we see a broader perspective. As you can see, we will go back to the 1-hour chart, and now let's examine the trends. Here, we can see that this trend started from here, and we observed the formation of a trend. Now, we have seen the trend's formation in this way, and on that day, we looked at it this way. We noticed that Bitcoin touched lower levels again, and we executed our buy from here. So, where is the sell point? Of course, it came up to these peaks above, and we saw that a new trend has formed. And as you can see, we are selling at these highs. The upper part of trend points generally indicates selling resistance points. So, what is resistance? It is the point where the rising trend reverses. Support refers to the points where the downtrend has reversed. In fact, this is a support level and it has reversed. Support is the point where the decline reverses, while resistance is the point where the rise reverses. Here, the rise has reversed. Therefore, the resistance has become $58,000. Now we will talk in detail about these support and resistance points. We will discuss everything in detail here. We are explaining quickly. Now, the most important point is that we see and learn the trends. Let's remove the drawings now. Let's draw a few more trends. As you can see here, there is a main trend on the 4-hour chart. There has been a main trend like this since the bottom. As you can see, there is a trend here again. We have an intermediate trend. So here we buy when it touches this point, and there is also a trend above, as you can see. So here, I think Bitcoin will reach 66,6666 in this way. I believe it will rise this much. I hope we have understood the support and resistance points in the trend lines. Trend lines actually provide us with support and resistance. How do we generally see support and resistance right here? We don't know about trends. How do we see it? Now, the first thing we need to determine here is a peak point, and there is a peak here. We are projecting a ray to this peak. This ray is a single point ray, which is the horizontal line here. I'm sending it right away. As you can see, I sent one here. Now let's identify another peak. As you can see, I have identified another one. Now let's identify another peak. I'm looking at how many peaks there are in the genes. So there are a few peaks around here. There are a few peaks around here. But instead of making this a single peak, I am placing it right in the middle, like this. And again, I am finding another peak. So what does this actually show us? These peaks are the points where the previous peak reversal occurred. So it has acted as resistance. This area will again present itself as resistance, as it has emerged as a resistance point here, as you can see. So, what does the previous peak signify for us here? As you can see, the previous peak acted as support while it was falling this time, and it appears that there were reversals. As you can see, there has been another reversal here. So, the previous peaks have acted as support for us. So what can we say? Look, this was a resistance level before. This was a resistance level here before. As you can see, after the price broke above the resistance, this area has now become support. As you can see, the levels above the resistance have become support. So, when resistances are broken, support becomes resistance, and when supports are broken, they become resistance. If you ask how you can understand these, let me show you again, in this way. Now, this was a resistance level, and we broke through it. Now that we have reached this point, this is now a new support level. Look, the price will always turn around here in this way. Our new support is here. Now, this was the resistance. The price was always reversing from these levels. We could see it from the reversal points. The prices were turning from here, like this. It was constantly turning back from here. And there is a small resistance here. Let me show you right away. There is a small resistance at the peak here. If we show it like this, look, now let's zoom in and see that the previous resistance was here. When it came below the support, it became a support point here. After breaking this resistance, it became a support point. After coming below the support, as you can see, it again acted as resistance here. So actually the peaks always represent resistance, while the troughs represent support. Look at the trough points and peak points here. Again, look here. The peaks are also a support here. Look, here is a peak. It has worked as support here. In this way, it has functioned as support. In fact, support and resistance points are the levels at which prices reverse, and they can generally be found very easily. We can also identify horizontal ascending trends related to the path of the beam. Look, the prices are constantly here. They have turned this way. Look, they keep bouncing off the horizontal trend line. Now, let's make another move like this. This area was previously a peak, meaning it was a resistance. Now, after breaking this resistance, it has become a support. It has retested this area, meaning after breaking it, it came back to its support. After breaking, this area has become support, and our previous resistance has turned into support. After moving upwards, it has resisted, and could not break through, and has come to a lower support. Now, where is the lower support? Look at where the peaks are. There are a few peaks here. here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are peaks here. Those areas have come. We can pull it that way as well. In fact, there is no such thing as support or resistance points. There are just regions, my friend. In this way, we can refer to this area as a zone. This is again a resistance zone in front of us. Look, it is actually testing the resistance here. That's why these support and resistance points are important. Now let's quickly draw our support and resistance points again. This is a resistance. This is another resistance from the previous peak. These are also a resistance. This area is again a resistance. Look at it this way. It has been a resistance before as well. Here, it has always worked as support. Again, here we are supporting 42,000, right? Why are we supporting 42,000? Because after breaking above 42,000, there is significant buying here and the price rises to the next resistance at around 47,000. Then, since it broke above this, our biggest support now is $42,000. What is our next biggest support after that? Here we have 35,000. So where is it? There is 25,000. You can see it like this. Now I will show you the Fibonacci tools. Here is the Fibonacci retracement section. When we click on this, we can find our support and resistance points by clicking from the starting point of the trend to the highest point. This way. Now it will look like this on your end. I am pulling it this way. As you can see, the Fibonacci levels are working in harmony with the support and resistance points that I have drawn. Now, if you want, let's simplify it a bit like this. Look, I'm showing you what I've drawn. Here is a peak, here is another peak, and here is yet another peak. As you can see, these are my own drawings. Now, there is also a Fibonacci retracement here. As you can see on the left side, when I draw from the starting point of the trend to the peak, you can see that it works perfectly. You need to click on the settings section to expand the lines to the right here. And you can also click to expand to the left here. If you select opposite, it will show us the supports in a downtrend. This chart will likely look like this for you. You will draw it this way, and it will give you the supports. If you select opposite, it will look like this with the background. You probably need to close the background as well. We are closing the background. And as you can see, it has given us the support and resistance points quite well. 0.6 weighting is an important resistance point here. Look, this has also acted as a resistance. And if we remove it, you can see that our support points here overlap perfectly with 0.6 weighting. Now, how do we find the resistance at the peak? Actually, let me remove all the drawings and redraw a Fibonacci here from the lowest point to the highest point. Now the chart is going this way. Here, we see that Bitcoin has an important resistance at $57,000. Why? Because that was already a peak before, and it has broken through and is holding above that level. Friends, as you can see, it is continuously holding above that level. If it continues to hold like this, it will come here, meaning we are buying here, and we can sell at 62,000 because it is a resistance point. There is a possibility of a reversal from here back to the 58,000s, but let's say it doesn't reverse here and closes above 63,000. We sold here. If it starts to hold above $62,000 and begins to hover around these levels, we can say that Bitcoin's next target is $72,000. Actually, this general main trend wasn't like this. It was like this. So it would be better if we looked at it this way. I'm clicking on this point here. As you can see, Bitcoin previously rose and tested a level, but that test failed and it dropped, bouncing back from earlier support levels. Now it is trying to hold above its resistance again. The next resistance we see is at $68,000, which corresponds to the 1.618 level. So will Bitcoin reach these levels? If you ask how this is happening, we have always identified support and resistance points in this way, and they have always materialized. Look, when Bitcoin was around $40,000, we said a correction was coming, and indeed a correction occurred here. This is how we were drawing it back then. We said that after the Bitcoin correction, when it broke above this level, Our new target would be $55,000. Let's see what has happened. Look, look, look. It is breaking above this. Look, after the resistance point is broken, there is a significant buying coming in. People are buying this because psychologically everyone is doing it, and after holding on here, a new peak comes. As you can see, our new peak is coming and the price is reversing from the resistance. So notice that it is not reversing from here for some reason. It is reversing from the resistance. A significant correction is coming from here. So, if there are going to be significant corrections, as you can see here, we can say that we might have a major correction at $85,000 and another significant correction around $80,000. Why? Look, we are pulling here and we see that a major correction could come in the 85,000s for Bitcoin. This way, we can determine our support and resistance at the Fibonacci points. Let me tell you about the volume below. If you don't have it, you can add volume here. You can start this with the internal volume. This way it will come to the lower part. Now I am removing the drawings. Volume exists in every exchange and is important. I can remove the volume indicator from here. What does this volume tell us, friends? This is very important. No one explains this to you. It exists in every exchange. Volume, friends, shows us that the trend can change direction. So when the volume spikes, as you can see here, the volume is currently very low. For example, there is a very low volume right now. Here, there is also a low volume. As you can see, it says 13.5K. In the top left corner, it has risen a lot here. As you can see, it has reached volumes of 50s and 71s. It has reached 71s. What does this tell us, friends? It indicates that the trend may change direction. So, when the volume increases, we look at what our trend is. Let's draw a trend line from here. As you can see, we actually have an upward trend here. There is an upward trend. So it indicates to us that this trend can change direction, as you can see. And here, the trend has experienced a slight change in direction. Look here. Again, the volume is increasing and the trend is changing direction, as you can see. Look here, the downtrend is changing direction this time, while at the bottom, as you can see, the volume is increasing and the downtrend is now giving way to an uptrend. Let's show you this much better on the weekly chart. Look, I'm removing the drawings. Let me show you. Previously, in 2018, there was that major correction where it dropped from 18,000 to 6,000 all of a sudden. The volume suddenly spikes. And here, the upward trend is coming to an end, friends. Look. There is an upward trend here. When the volume increases, a downtrend begins. Then the volume rises again. Now an uptrend starts. The volume is rising again here. A downtrend is starting now. The volume is rising again here. You can see it this way. Look, here, the volume is rising again. A bullish trend is starting now. And here, the volume is rising once more. There is a correction happening, a bearish trend. And now, as you can see, there is no increase in volume. So we can say that our trend is continuing. Here, volume provides us with very important information. We had previously drawn trend lines. Trend lines also show us the breakdown of the trend. So here you see a downtrend in Bitcoin. As you can see, there is a downtrend here. Look, there is a downtrend here. There are two lows here. There is a downtrend here. Again, I am identifying some peaks here. And once more, I am finding some troughs here. As you can see, there are trends present. Now, is there a breakdown of these downtrends, friends? What does this mean? Look, there is a downward trend here. Let's zoom in on our 4-hour chart like this. I hope you understood it well. I hope it's helpful. There is a downward trend here. After two peaks, the trend is established. The third one, as you can see, confirms the trend. It is currently valid. Now let's take a look at what has happened here. As you can see, after breaking this descending trend, Bitcoin has experienced a significant buying reaction and has skyrocketed. Then, what we call a retest has occurred. In other words, a pullback. Here, there has been a broken breakout, meaning there has been an excessive rise. Here, after the trend was broken, purchases occurred and a pullback was experienced. In other words, a retracement. As you can see here, the retracement has taken place. Look, previously, this was always a resistance level for us, but now it has worked as support. Above it, see, it has come to us as support. Now, as you can see here, this is a resistance point. There is another resistance here as well. What happened after it came above this? It closed with two candles. And now this has become a support for us. so it would continuously bounce back from here. Of course, this would now be a downtrend. As you can see, we have a downtrend there. Now let's look at this in the same way with an uptrend. There are some lows here. As you can see, there are lows present. In fact, we can say that there are even nicer lows right here. Look here. Yes, as you can see, it's very nice. Here you can see the lows. This rising trend has now been broken at some point. Friends, it has been broken right here. And with the strong selling pressure, a waterfall has occurred here and now a downtrend has begun. Again, when the rising trend broke, a breakout occurred here. In fact, it happened right here and then it retested. We can see this better on the hourly chart. Look here. Look, I'm removing the lines here. Right here, I'm identifying the lows. Again, I'm identifying the lows here. We already warned you during that decline. Look, it has come up like this. The support point has worked here. Then, on the second touch, it couldn't break this time. Now let's say it comes back from here for the third time and touches again. It turned again. The more it touches here, the higher the probability of a breakout. So it became the fourth. So the grasshopper jumps once, jumps twice, and on the third jump, it gets ruined. This has happened here. Look, it has said 1, 2, 3. Here it has burst, and a waterfall has come. In this way, we can also perform our analyses quite well on our trend lines. Let me tell you about a few important indicators right away. Here, we have the RSI indicator, RSI. As you can see by writing RSI, we can add the relative strength index. After adding the relative strength index in this way, we can adjust the color here in the settings to make it white, yellow, or bold. I am making it bold and yellow. What does this indicator tell us, friends? Let's talk about that right away. When the indicator is at the bottom, meaning below 30, it indicates that it has been oversold, which means everyone has sold it excessively. When it is above 70, it indicates that it has been overbought. It seems that a correction may be coming in this rising trend. Look, there has already been a correction here when it was overbought. And in the oversold condition, a rise has also been observed. As you can see here, a rise has occurred. This indicates that when the RSI is below 30, it shows a buying opportunity. When the RSI is above 70, it appears as a selling opportunity. However, we should not rely on this RSI alone. We must also use other indicators. It has already worked very well here too. Look. When the RSI is at the bottom like this, people who bought Bitcoin at around $5,000 or even $3,000 can now sell at these levels. As you can see, he has made very nice profits. Of course, it should definitely not be sold when it's above 70. However, generally, it should definitely be sold when it's above 80 and in the 90s. As you can see, if you sell at 90, you can already buy at a dip. And if you sell at 80, you can also buy at a dip. Generally, purchases should be made around 40s and 30s. However, if it goes below 30, a purchase is definitely required. This indicator explains these points to us. After briefly discussing this indicator, let's close it. And let's talk about moving averages. Let's discuss golden crosses. We write MA here and double click on the moving average. After double clicking, our blue line appears, as you can see here. We will adjust these lines from here. So what are we doing now? We are entering one of the lines here and setting it to 50 like this. In the input section, let's make the one for 50 yellow and slightly thicker. We clicked OK here and a yellow line appeared below. Now I am entering these settings and I am also making this red and bold like this. I am also writing 200 here. Our 200 is this. In the 200-day chart, it takes the 200-day average prices to give us a weighted average. As you can see, the 200-day average is at 25,000. So what does this tell us? In fact, the 200-day average tells us this. Average lines can act as support. As you can see here, if we are above the average line, the 50-day average serves as a support. The strongest support, as you can see here, is at 18,000. It has always worked for us as a support point. Look, it has turned back from the yellow line again. Now I will talk to you about the golden cross. As you can see here, when the yellow line on Bitcoin's chart crosses the red line from below, a golden cross occurs. So it's a golden cross. It crosses from below, as you can see. If it crosses from above, it indicates the yellow line, crossing the red line, which refers to the 50-200 moving averages. If it crosses from above, this is called a dead cross, signaling a bear market. Conversely, a cross from below indicates a bull market, and indeed a bull market is currently occurring. After that, bulls often come back after a golden cross. So, for us to say that our divergence has arrived, a dead cross needs to occur here. Now let's examine this on the 1 hour chart. What does this chart show us? You can also find the dead cross and golden cross on the 4 hour charts. This is what golden cross and dead cross are, my friends. Now let's show how the 200-day moving average works as support and resistance. Look here, it has crossed from below again, and after the golden cross there is an upward trend. Here it has crossed from above and is now a downward trend. Again, a golden cross that has crossed from below. This way we can see the golden crosses. I am removing the drawings, and now let's examine how the 200-day moving average acts as support on the screen. Here, the price is above the 200-day moving average. For example, look, we are above the 200-day moving average. The price is above the 200-day moving average here. When the price is above the 200-day moving average, this 200-day average acts as a red line that always provides support. The price often reverses. Our strongest support here is the 200-day moving average. If we break below the 200-day moving average, it acts as resistance. As you can see, there is a resistance level here that is struggling, and the price is breaking upwards. I hope you have understood the support and resistance points we have drawn now. We explained it to Erasa. Now let's talk about a few formations. We previously published a video where we showed the head and shoulders formation. So, what is this head and shoulders formation? We had shown it before in some of our videos back in 2010 when it appeared under the gold. Yes, it will be very clear like this. Here, we are taking the head and shoulders formation, and here is a right shoulder like this. Of course, this is an inverted shoulder. This is called a tobo. You can see it this way. Look, the right shoulder indicates this to us, friends. A rise. As significant as the head can be experienced here, the depth of the head in the inverse head and shoulders pattern indicates that a rise could occur to the extent of this head, my friends. As you can see, when the formation is completed here, a rise follows. It came from 62,000. The exact opposite of this is the inverse head and shoulders. Here we can again see our head and shoulders. Now here, for example, in Bitcoin, as you can see, there is a small head and shoulders pattern. As you can see, we can say that there is a left shoulder here, a head here again, and a right shoulder like this. As you can see, it's a bit crooked, but you can draw this more clearly. As you can see, like this. Yes, here as well, we can see that when this formation is completed, a decline may occur, and here a decline had already occurred. Up to that point, when it was completed, previously in the shoulder-head-shoulder formation with Bitcoin, this shoulder-head-shoulder formation is an important pattern that appears many times. Again, let's illustrate a few of the formations that we encounter most frequently. Here, as you can see for Bitcoin, if we open a chart, there is a W formation. For example, a W like this. As you can see, when this is completed, we can say that an upward movement may occur between the peaks and troughs like this. As you can see, a rise occurs here as significant as the peak and trough when it breaks through this level. That has already happened. There are many formations like this. Now let's discuss a few more indicators with you. Here, one of our indicators is the material indicator, friends. When we added the material indicator here, a signal appeared below. Indicators mean signals. What do these indicators tell us here? As you can see, there is a blue line here. When this blue line crosses the red line downwards, it is a sell signal. In other words, it indicates a selling downtrend signal. If it cuts from below to above, it generates a buy signal. Here the green signal appears as a buy signal. Here the buy signal is now, indicating that a buy signal is coming, and it shows that we can now make a profit. Now the reds have become transparent, or the greens have become transparent. If this buy signal becomes transparent, it means that the green has become transparent, indicating that the buy signal is weakening. As you can see here, it has weakened and the price has started to decline. The red line has given us a sell signal here. The sell signal has weakened here, meaning it has become transparent and a rise has occurred. Then look here, it has crossed from bottom to top and a buy signal has appeared. The MACD can generate buy and sell signals, and you can see these drawings in this way. Here, for example, the buying signal in Bitcoin has weakened a bit around these levels. As you can see, it has become more transparent. And as you can see, there is a crossover here. From top to bottom, in fact, it seems like it will generate a sell signal. However, we should not look at these formations in isolation. That's why we need to consider other indicators as well. We should also look at the RSI for trading volume. Here, when I add the RSI again and change its color, you can see that there is an upward trend in the RSI. So we can also consider that this price might be able to break through from a bit higher, or that it could turn around here. For example, it was about to generate a complete sell signal here, but material upward movements have occurred again. Especially in a bull market, these types of indicators don't work very well. Therefore, we need to look at support and resistance levels. What can we do with Bitcoin right now? Let's briefly summarize this as well. I will also turn off these indicators. We quickly went over this. What can we do with Bitcoin? Let's say you don't have any Bitcoin. What would you do? You wouldn't buy Bitcoin at the exact middle price. Why? This is a resistance point. Look, a resistance point. When it breaks the resistance point, a purchase is made. When it breaks, it should close 2 to 3 candles on the 4-hour chart. Let's say you bought here. I must be drawing the Fibonacci points. Look at the very top this way. Let's remove all the drawings. Let's draw again. Now, what did we say? This is a resistance point. So this here is a resistance point. Yes, this is a resistance point. Now let's say we took it from here. How much profit will we make? You can also add this here in the meantime. How much profit will we make? If we consider that it will turn at the next resistance if you buy from here, we currently have a 17% profit. There is no need to be greedy now. Let's allow it to confirm itself above the resistance in this way. Twice. And let's take it here, that if this place guarantees itself with 2 candles, it indicates these levels here. If we buy at 62,000, we have a 12% profit. Therefore, if it secures itself above the resistance, we make a purchase. Do not buy at the resistance. Let it be bought at support. If it turns around from here and comes back, buy here. And when you buy here, if you sell like this, you can still make a 5% profit. In the meantime, as it goes up and down, you can take 5% profits. If you see that it has made closes above this level, you buy here and sell at resistance. If you notice that Bitcoin is rising significantly, it is closing above 70,000. It is also closing above 66,000. There is no need to be greedy here. A continuous opportunity will come our way. Opportunities in this market never end. Therefore, we are definitely carrying out our transactions calmly. Now, let's talk about a few more formations. Let me illustrate these on the screen right away. There is an Adam and Eve formation like this. This is how you can see it. Adam-Eve formations occur like this, and a rise comes back as high as the peak. We also have our rectangular formations like this. We can show them as well. There are cup and handle formations present. If you ask how a cup and handle looks, let's draw it like this. The cup forms like this. Here, a handle is forming. If a cup formation occurs in this way, a rise will come equal to its depth. If this formation is realized, again, a rise will come equal to its depth. Here, in the Adam and Eve formation. I couldn't draw it perfectly, but a rise as deep as this will come. Let's examine it. Again with Bitcoin, there are double top formations present. Here, I am bringing Bitcoin closer from the right, as you have seen before. Look here, what has happened to Bitcoin before? It has experienced a double top, the first top, the second top. And after the price turned from there, a downtrend has begun. A downtrend in a double top. Typically, upward trends begin at double bottoms. We can see these here at the double bottoms. For example, there is a double bottom here. Look, there is a double bottom here. In a double bottom, the points where the candles have wicks should be the same. If we draw a rectangle here, you can see that these wick points are the same. Double bottoms bring us a rising trend again, and this is how we talked about the cup and handle pattern. We can talk about triangles. What are triangles? Let's take the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. As you can see here, what do you see? It seems like there is a triangle formation. So what does the triangle formation mean? Here is a triangle like this. You can say that a triangle is present here. Look. The triangle is present here. What does this triangle indicate to us? Let's say there was a breakout in this triangle, meaning a breakout occurred in this triangle. There was a breakout above this triangle. It started to make closes above here. How far will this story go when it starts to close above this? How far will it rise? Of course, a rise will come as deep as this triangle. So that also shows us 66666 again. Look, if we draw it exactly like this here, as you can see, if it breaks at the top of the triangle, it shows us these levels. It indicates around 66,000. Here, if it breaks below, it shows us the subsequent supports. Look, it is already indicating that it shows the 52,000s. We will wait for it to break below or above. So if you buy within this triangle, you will either stop out around 57,000 or you won't sell above it. You will wait for these levels to rise again. There are such triangles present. Again, there are wedges and narrowing wedges here. Look, there is a wedge here. Look, there is an ascending wedge here. Right here, an ascending wedge. As you can see here, after the wedge breaks, there is a rise up to the depth. In front of us, look, as you can see. The target of the wedge is, as you can see here, there is a wedge here. You can observe the details in these wedges. There are flags. You can also look at the flags. Flags are formed completely in this way. There are flags like this. A detailed training set regarding this is coming. If there is a movement like this in Bitcoin, meaning if it progresses in this way and starts to navigate within it, this is a flag. This flag indicates that there could be a rise up to the pole. Look, there is a flag like this. Here, these flags are present. Double tops, head and shoulders. Indicators, you can look at it this way. Our training set is also coming. We have a special training set for members as well. We explain these in great detail to you. That's why I'm ending this video now. This was an accelerated graphic training. I hope you are able to understand it quickly. If you want to see more of these types of trainings, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. I wish you all a good day.